Hello, my name is Noel, and I recently came across this controversy, if you could call it that. Another company making stupid videos about body diversity and stuff. It is, oh, fine, and unrealistic expectation in video games. So the thing that occurred to me when it came to this is realistic women in video games. They don't exist. Realistic video games, they do not exist. In fact, it's all a power fantasy. However, the strange thing when I always talk about female proportion and positivity is the fact that they do not really promote what they really don't design games around what a actual athletic person would look like. What do I mean with this is simple. When you say body positivity, they always think of something along the line of having extra body mass. But the thing is, if you shouldn't go with Lara Croft or someone like that, which is overly exaggerated, I realized one little thing. If you really want to portray more realistic women in video games according to body physique and their profession, then, well, have you ever seen female athletes? Yes, take a look at this photo collection here. You see, many body types, many tones, sizes, and muscles. You know, muscles in different places, depending on how much you use your arms, your legs, your core. Well, let's face it, pretty much every character in a video game is supposed to be hyper athletic, strong, and have insane stamina and durability. For example, a typical fantasy world, you travel for days in a straight line while looking as thin as a twig. That's just as unrealistic as rolling across the world. Also, if you really want to make a power fantasy out of someone, let's say have a disability, like driving a wheelchair, having missing limbs and such, the real solution is simple. Instead of having a company try to promote this idea, which is always going to lead to unrealistic expectations and complaints, what you do, you design a game. You just write a document, make some sketches, make a mock-up, and then you convince someone to help you make it, maybe crowdfund it, I don't know. Whole point is, if you want to make a game that represents someone in a wheelchair, and making a power fantasy out of that, design it yourself. I have seen this work and it works really well. I made a video earlier where I highlighted a homebrew Dungeons and Dragons concept character someone had made around the idea of becoming a athletic murder machine, a whirlwind of death in a dungeon, while driving around in a wheelchair. So it's totally possible. However, well, you cannot expect a big company to provide this. In fact, you shouldn't, because all the AAA industry games, they kind of suck. They're more interested in making Hollywood movies with minimal gameplay if they can get away with it. No, what you need to do is what Japanese people have been doing in all of these years. You make a low budget schlock game with fun gameplay loop, silly characters, stupid concepts, then you push it out the door and let the algorithm and the reputation speaks for itself. Because this, what you see on the screen, that is what a more realistic, what you call more realistic athletic women. Because in fact, these are real people. Instead of, whatever nightmare a woke commercial company can conjure up. I just also Have you seen how they depict men in games, or how many online games where you can just make whatever kind of monstrosity you want, or The Sims? Yeah, there are more. There are more custom characters that you can make in. I do believe there are more games where you can customize a character than there are none. Not games where you can't. When it comes to those with bipedal human creatures in them, or humanoids. The rest usually have furries, wear funny animals, blocks, blobs, shapes, abstract shapes. Yeah. Video games aren't realistic, it's a power fantasy. And if you really want to make a power fantasy, do it yourself. Learn to code. Get off your ass and stop complaining. Because the Dove will not be capable of doing it. Unreal will not do it. Actually, you can make it Unreal, but you cannot expect Epic to do it. You cannot expect Blizzard, Electronic Arts, Microsoft, Ubisoft, Activision, or any of these companies to ever get even remotely close to the experience you want. No, you have to do it yourself. And I would love to see it in action. I could probably design something, but I am the worst salesman in the world. So even if I made it, I wouldn't be. I am not good enough to collect a team and realize the idea, or visualize it properly. But I can probably mock up a document or something. Oh, speaking of that. Well, let's say you wanted to have depict someone in a wheelchair. So, first of all, you need to find you need to be able to customize it. You need to be able to upgrade it, combine it with different sort of parts, and then you can end up with some sort of Mad Max scenario where you are plowing through a horde nimbly, first by hand, squeak, squeak, squeak. But as you keep getting better and better and progress through the story, you can upgrade to an electric wheelchair, or a bike, or a spider. I don't know. Point is, it's very possible. It's very doable. However, someone just has to go out and do it, and show the world how it's supposed to be done, instead of sitting and complaining like I'm doing right now. Oh, I have already proposed a solution, so I'm actually working towards a goal. Anyways, my name is Joel, signing out. Like, follow, subscribe. Have a good one.